Welcome to The Better Life with Dr. Mary Ann Pinkston. Join Dr. Pinkston today as she teaches you how an integrative approach to health, combining holistic and contemporary medical information, can lead you to the better life. And now, here's your host, Dr. Mary Ann Pinkston.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to The Better Life with Dr. Pinkston. I am Dr. Mary Ann Pinkston, here to bring you some more information and bring in Ray Solano from PD Labs up in Cedar Park, Texas, which is close to Austin, for those of you who really don't know that area. And bring in Ray in to discuss a little bit more. I think everybody these days is really into the GLP weight loss medications. So the Ozempic, Wegovy, semaglutide, tirzepatide, Zepbound. I mean, you choose your name. Mounjaro, you choose your name, and it's all the same thing. So, Ray, welcome in. We've talked a lot about these GLPs, but something people don't understand very well is the muscle loss behind this, and so I think we can focus on that a little bit today. How are you?
I'm doing great today. Yes, the formal name for that is incretins. That's the classification. I think I pronounced it correctly,
you did,
but it's
absolutely.
It's yes, and that's this whole market segment is called it's white hot.
Yeah.
This is today's conversation is to really kind of frame this as to how to survive through this, because you've been doing weight loss forever and it is not as simple as it sounds.
Absolutely.
And now I think we're starting to see some of the side effects of this.
Yeah.
There's in Europe, they're seeing some things called with vision, having difficulty with vision. So we got to these are potent pharmaceuticals. So we're really excited about some of getting people into the right zone and being able to look at the correct dosage and what is it doing in symphony with the body. Absolutely. So it's important to work together.
And to speak to that about, there are so many different pharmaceuticals or compounded, medications. There's the nutraceuticals or supplements or whatnot. It doesn't matter what it is. It can be a wonderful thing, but it can be used incorrectly. And so I do prescribe these medications. I do advocate them and love them very much. But at the same time, I see so many clinics out there using them so inappropriately. I mean, some of them prescribe and don't even have a doctor or really a nurse practitioner or a provider that is monitoring these patients, talking with these patients. They're just doing prescriptions. They'll see them for a few minutes and then give them a prescription and keep refilling. Patients go up on their own dosages. They manage or, go down, or they'll take it sooner, or, they'll do things that are outside of the standard of what we know is safe. And that is when we see the problems come in with this. And I've done this now for 2 years, if you can believe it. It started January 2 years ago. Wow. And the main thing that I'm noticing is the muscle wasting. And I don't necessarily think it's just the incretin or the GLP medication. I think it's the lack of dietary structure, lifestyle structure, and exercise and eating protein and things like that, in conjunction with overuse or overdosing of these incorrect use, of these medications. And so I have noticed over the past probably year or so, I'm having to deal more and more with people just wasting away and looking sick. They don't look thinner. They don't
look right. I know, and they call it the Ozempic face.
Exactly, and it's a shame that they do it that way, but it's because you don't have to appear that way. You don't have to be that way if you eat correctly and lose weight correctly. Again, it's that instant gratification. This medicine's going to help me lose, 40 pounds in 2 months, 3 months. And so I just want to lose weight as fast as I can. And I'm telling patients, well, we're going to slow down. You could be on this for a very, very long time, but low dose while I teach you how to eat right, exercise right, and do this the right way so that you don't have those repercussions. The hair loss and things like that come with it. It's all the same thing. It's just losing weight too fast, losing the wrong type of weight, whatnot. And so, I don't know. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but to
that. I mean, that is some of the dangers. Yeah. This is the reason why I have to work with a licensed practitioner like yourself, because you don't want to make these huge changes on your own.
Right.
And so this is what we do in conjunction with you, is to be able to teach them. And what we're finding is the caloric deprivation that occurs, the body continues to fix itself, and it will eat whatever it can to keep the body systems going. The first thing it takes off is muscle is a great fuel to keep the body going. So this is the reason why in certain areas of the body, I don't understand why the face and the usually the upper torso, it goes away first.
Yeah.
But the body eats away at not only fat but also muscle at the same time, because the amount of protein people are eating is reduced.
It's so low.
Because
I'm eating good. You know, I have a
but how much protein are you getting?
I have a piece of chicken at lunch, and then I have a steak, chicken, fish, or something at dinner. And I'm like, that's probably about 80 grams of protein that you're eating. That's not enough. I need you. You know, for most women, for men and women, about a gram per pound weight that you are. But I'll tell women you need to be 120 to 150 grams. Men, you need to be about 150, sometimes 200, depending on how big you are. And I'm like, good luck with that, with this killing your appetite. Good luck with getting all that in, right?
Yeah, because otherwise they're getting nauseous. This is one of the things, and then they eat the wrong food. So you got the wrong fuel because nobody told them how to do it. So and then we get those side effects. So it's important to modulate the dosing, which is low dose, microdosing, so that the expectations of 20 pounds a month should not be something you should be doing.
Absolutely.
That's a drastic weight loss that is going to require intervention, I think, for people because of the possible side effects. When you're 50 pounds overweight and you lose that much weight, that fat is a depot of pesticides, is a depot of all different types of chemicals as well, because that's what the body does. It stores it so that the body doesn't absorb it. So it's really important to have healthy weight loss that's long term, because the most important thing for your resting metabolic rate is dependent upon muscle.
Yes.
So if your muscle mass is gone, your metabolic rate is low. And so this is why we're going to see huge increases in people when they can't afford, in 60 days, they won't be able to afford these drugs. They'll put all the weight back on.
Yes.
And then
quickly too, and usually twice what they lost.
Yeah, exactly. So that's scary.
Yes, it is. I did I spent 13 years obese, and I did that off and on. Like every year, I'd lose, I'd gain. If I lost 20, I gained 40. If I lost 40, I gained 80. I mean, it just back and forth. And I'm a physician, right? You think that I got all the training in medical school or residency about how to eat correctly and nutrition and weight and all these things.
Right.
Goose egg, nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
So I had to figure it out, and I've basically been figuring it out over the last 8 to 10 years about, how to do this correctly and the correct mindset on top of that, not just how to eat or exercise to do it, but the mindset of how to do it the right way. And it's really surprising to people. I'll spend 30 minutes to an hour with them once a month and more if needed, just beginning to explain these things. And we've had, I think I told you this at one point on one of the podcasts, that collectively over the last 2 years, I've had people lose over 2,200 pounds.
How many?
2,200.
Whoa.
And do it well. Do it over the course of a year and do it well. And this is year 2. They're keeping it off. Listen, there is something very different about doing it this way. Thank God. And I think people are finally starting to get it for the little amount of people that I see. I can't see everybody, but added up for the last 2 years, over 2,200 pounds. Seriously.
Wow. Well, I think we're giving people hope. We have a tirzepatide LPT tablet. It's a tiny lipid particle technology tablet that is oral, dissolvable, that works. All the products that are out there do not work. We partnered with a pharmaceutical company for innovative patented technology, that novel approach for drug delivery, and you're going to see more and more of this in the future. But we've been lucky to be able to do this by prescription, and we talk to these patients, and unfortunately, everybody thinks that these are magic pills. Okay, they're not magic pills. They really require people to do lifestyle changes at the same time. So, but it's hard. So we really need to work with people like yourselves that take the time and effort to understand what's your medical history.
Right.
What are you doing? What is your stress level? How come you're not sleeping? Because all those need to work very nicely together.
Absolutely.
So that's why we have the pharmaceuticals to offer, but it takes a complete program to do this.
Yes, it does. A very well-rounded program.
It does.
And I know that we have tools too, that you have tools and things that I can prescribe or other physicians can prescribe, whether they will or not, I don't know. But peptides and other things that help people maintain muscle. So that's kind of how we started the program, talking about the muscle loss, the muscle wasting. Despite trying to eat well, people can still lose. So what things do you have in your armament now that can be used to prevent this and treat it?
We've got a couple, and we look at something that's been tried and true, and it's been around for a long time. Sermorelin is a injectable, and that has been around as a growth hormone activator. So it increases growth hormone levels. And so this is something that allows the body to make more muscle at the same time, in conjunction with tirzepatide or sermorelin, the generic names for these drugs. Yeah. So this is in combination. It allows their muscle mass index to increase. So that's one option. We have it in an LPT chewable tablet as well as the injection. So the combination of the two will help raise those body's natural growth hormone levels to effective levels.
Right.
And then we come up with another one, and everybody should be we're really excited about this other small molecule. It's not a peptide, and we didn't realize that 90% of the pharmaceuticals out there are small molecule amino acids that are coupled together. So these small molecules are very sometimes people realize, well, aspirin's a small molecule. Mm-hmm. Vitamin B6 is a small molecule. Albuterol. A lot of the pharmaceuticals are these small molecule therapeutics, this category. So we understand that there's this another molecule that's being investigated in phase 2 trials that is available, and it's called OS01. And we're calling it Muscle OS, Muscle OS. And they go, well, what is this? Well, it's a very simple capsule that you can take once a day, and it has a schedule. It's a prescription item that you schedule on it for 60 days on, or 30 to 60 days on, depending on the person, and 30 days off. But it's a new classification of drug. And this new classification is called an AMPK activator. Mm-hmm. An AMPK activator is those receptors in the mitochondria that make ATP, the energy cycle. It's really the fuel that is the spark plugs that get all of the mitochondria engines of all the cells going for energy. Energy is the key term. ATP is the modulator for that energy cycle. So if we can make more ATP, that electricity that turns the lights on, that's the holy grail.
It is, isn't it?
These AMPK activators, this particular molecule increases muscle mass, great, check box, decreases fat, so it accelerates fat loss, check, but it also modulates glucose levels. So it fixes insulin resistance. So this classification of drug helps with regeneration or many of the disease complications of kidney disease, as well. It goes on, and neurological dysfunction. Right. So we're in another breakthrough of another classification of drugs that will be coming out. Right. And this one is something that's available now. We exclusively through prescription dispensing labs, PD labs, in conjunction with you. Awesome. With a easy consultation, we feel that this is going to be a perfect add-on to anybody who's taking these GLP medications. Yeah. So we think that it'll be a lower dosage that's needed of the drug, so we have less side effects. Right. So in combination, less is always better.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I think this is another tool in your toolbox that, you know what, they should give you a call, because I think you have something that nobody else does.
It's always wonderful for that, right? But we definitely want people getting better, and that's why we were going after it. So thank you, Jim Laval and Ray, for heading all this off and figuring all this out. So speaking of getting in touch, how can people we've got about a minute and a half, and we'll flip all over to the other side and talk a little bit more about this. And so how can people get in touch with you and find you?
I think it's check out our website, pdlabsrx.com. That's pdlabsrx.com. You can check out our website, and we'd definitely be able to connect with you if you would like to call us directly to be able to get the connections with the right people. It's 512-219-0724 and option 2.
Awesome. And then you and I have been doing this. I looked yesterday at YouTube, and we've done several shows together. I've done 197 over the last 3 years, and very excited
We're getting
about
better and better, aren't we?
Right. And you and I have done at least a third or more of that together. And so lots of great shows. Go to drpbetterlife.com. You can find Ray there. You can find PD Labs, more information, and all of our past shows, as well as some of the ones I've done in the past with Jim and Lauren, others. So drpbetterlife.com. We're going to take a short break. Be back on the other side.
Hi, this is Ray Solano with your Healthy Choices Minute, sponsored by Prescription Dispensing Labs. New research has concluded that implementing dietary changes could prevent gut inflammatory processes involved in some chronic diseases. Modulation of your gut microbes through diets enriched with vegetables, legumes, grains, nuts, and a higher intake of plant over animal foods has a potential to prevent intestinal inflammatory conditions at the core of many chronic diseases. In short, the foods we eat and our dietary patterns have a major influence on our immune system that can cause many conditions we are suffering from today. Solution: try our OptiMeal shake. Our team has developed the best tasting, healthiest shake you've ever experienced to control blood sugar and to improve your gut. Start your day today with a healthy choice. Call us today at 888-909-0110 for a free sample of the OptiMeal shake. 888-909-0110. Remember, you have a choice in healthcare.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. I'm Dr. Marianne Pinkston, and this is The Better Life. And I am talking with Ray Solano from PD Labs up in Cedar Park. And kind of failed to mention, or I guess at the end very briefly mentioned, the Laval Performance Health Center that you and Jim Laval have created up in Cedar Park. But you don't have to go to Cedar Park in order to get services. That's something that you guys have been very gracious, and I've been a part of as well. And so we see patients, and we do a lot of things. Explain kind of how the clinic works and how to get in touch with us and what we do.
We have a beautiful center up in Cedar Park in conjunction with our pharmacy as one full service operation that is able to see patients in person and be able to do a complete workup from a nutritional workup, as well as involving the pharmaceuticals with a state-of-the-art metabolic code platform that predicts your health based upon the integration of labs, symptom interviews, as well as what is going on individually with each person,
right,
their lifestyle. So putting all this together is very unique. We do it also as a telemedicine, so you don't have to travel to us. We can work it as remote as well. But we were able to take some unique nutraceuticals that are designed to work, that are part of the platform, and also pepper it with some of the pharmaceuticals that are at the right dosage and the right strengths that really make sense, that are personalized for the patient. So as a specialty compounding pharmacy, we're able to fuse that together, and people go, how come I never heard about this before? How come nobody else told me this? I've been walking through this desert of healthcare for 20 years, and nobody ever told me. By the way, it was a mold basement that I got exposed to 20 years ago.
Right.
Or it could have been an infection from a Lyme disease, some of the, or by the way, I'm just overtraining. Nobody ever told me I can't run 20 miles a day and I didn't have to relax. I mean, it's the amount of misinformation out there is about 50% of the time. People just don't know.
Absolutely. I would go farther than that, 80% of the time. Now, they are turning to things like ChatGPT. I talked to a lady the other day whose dog was sick. She can't really afford big vet bills or whatnot, so she's turning to ChatGPT for diagnosis and treatment, and I know people are doing this well.
And AI, Reddit as well.
AI can be a great thing. It can also be a very dangerous thing, and people diagnosing themselves. And so I think the reason that they're turning to things like that is desperation. I think go to your temporary doc. You don't get heard. You don't really get seen. You don't get touched. You don't get solutions except for a prescription with a pill within 10 minutes, right?
And you can't do it that way. So, you know what? There is going to be there's a revolution in healthcare that's coming. Nothing ever stays the same.
Right.
It goes back and forth. The pendulum will switch back and forth. People need more healthcare than they ever did before. They will find it. Yes. Okay, whether it's through Reddit, ChatGPT, or somebody down the street, they will find it.
That's right.
They will, and I think now we will have maybe a freedom in medicine for maybe a short period of time.
Right.
We'll see. But there's a lot of people that are willing to help, but have decided that they don't want to get involved with it because of the reimbursement structure.
Absolutely.
Has been a chokehold on it, because you have to be in different buckets. It had to be in certain categories where everybody has to go to a specialist. They can't go. Nobody is willing to treat the whole person. They have to go to 5 different appointments. So that's what we try to do, is we cut through it, make it a very common sense approach to medicine.
And personalized. This is the last factor. We've got a few minutes here, but the very, very personalized. So we we don't just jump in and think we know you within 10 minutes, 10 or 15 minutes. Takes time, takes a lot of information influx. So we really listen. And I worked for a veterinarian when I was in high school and in college. And even though he was a veterinarian, he knew I wanted to be a physician. He always said the best advice was listen to your patient long enough, they're going to tell you what's wrong with them. And
isn't that the truth?
Nothing was ever true.
Oh, really?
So we're bringing that back. That's an old.
They're bringing it back. They know. Your body knows how to fix itself.
Absolutely.
So you just have to ask the right questions and to translate what it's saying.
Right.
It doesn't like this. It doesn't like this food. It doesn't like this where it's staying. It doesn't like the job. It doesn't like this. And you just have to say, well, you know what? You may want to change something.
Right.
And that's the start. So
absolutely. Love it. And so.
And I'll just give you our website again, pdlabsrx.com. And the website for our clinic is Laval, LAVALLE performance.com, lavalperformance.com. And we definitely have practitioners that are open to be able to give you some help.
Absolutely. Now, Jim has a fantastic Instagram he's been doing, and it's been a lot of fun watching him do. I think it's the real Jim Lavelle. Oh boy, I hate it when I do this and give something incorrect, but I'll make sure I put it up where you can find Jim Lavelle. Just look it up, Jim Lavelle.
JimLaVelle.com.
Absolutely.
And so he's done the training of our practitioners. So we're copying and cloning these programs.
Yep.
But by the way, people come from all over to be able to get answers. So it's important to put your name on the list.
Yeah, which is wonderful. So you can go to also drpbetterlife.com. Again, find all of our previous shows. And so I know even though this is a podcast that will go in the archives, I know for the airing next week, it's going to be Christmas week. So
that's right.
Everybody have a blessed and wonderful Christmas. If you celebrate, if you don't, just happy holidays. It is
happy holidays.
Time, right?
And the tip before we go.
Yeah.
Eat before you go to the parties, and make sure you consume something that is healthy, because we will stress our bodies with things we're not supposed to have. But enjoy. That's what holidays are for. That's what families are for, to regenerate, because you have to have that social interaction.
That's right.
So you could do both.
That is the best tip of all. Thank you, Ray.
All right.
And we'll see you again in a couple weeks. And everybody, have a happy holiday season. Thank you.
Take care.
You've been enjoying The Better Life with Dr. Mary Ann Pinkston. For more information, go to drpthebetterlife.com. That's drpthebetterlife.com. And listen next week for The Better Life with Dr. Pinkston.